The story begins with a girl named Asha. She's the one telling her own story. She says that 5 years ago, when the tsunami came, it was terrifying. The whole city went underwater, and millions of people lost their lives. Families tried their best to save each other, but most of them failed. Only a few people managed to survive by running up to the rooftops of tall buildings, and Asha was one of them. Asha was heartbroken because she had lost her loved ones, but somehow she kept standing. For the past 5 years, she's been living inside a broken-down building, right in the middle of the drowned city. No one else was there in that building, just her. One day, she goes up to the rooftop. She had collected a good amount of rainwater there, and she used to boil it before drinking or making herself some coffee. After that, Asha takes out a radio she had hidden away. She often listened to songs on it. It made her feel a little better. Then, we see the ruined city all around. Every building looks deserted and lifeless. In these conditions, Asha's biggest challenge was drinking water. If it didn't rain, it became a huge problem. So, she would carefully collect the rainwater that gathered on the rooftop. She used cloth to filter it, letting the cloth soak up the water and then squeezing it out into her containers. That's how she managed to save drinking water after so much effort. But even that water she always kept hidden. Because in times like these, with no supplies around, a lot of people had turned into looters. They'd steal whatever they could find. Asha used to write down in her diary exactly how many bottles she had left. After that, she picked up her binoculars and started looking around. That's when she saw a building in the distance collapse straight into the water, breaking apart from the middle. The water was slowly eating the whole city away. When Asha looked down, she noticed a box floating on the water. She thought maybe it had something important inside. She went down to the lower floor where the water had already risen. From there, she tried hooking the box with a pin and pulling it toward herself. But in the water, some fish grabbed onto it, and when she couldn't pull it free, she got yanked forward with a hard jerk. Because of a broken window, she ended up hurting herself. Even then, Asha didn't give up. She pulled with all her strength until she finally got the box. But when she opened it, she found nothing useful. Just a single bottle of liquor. She took that bottle upstairs and used it to clean her wounds. Just then, she heard noises. Picking up her binoculars again, she saw looters heading toward her building, looking for food. Panicked, she quickly hid all her supplies under trash and garbage, then ran to a room she had already set up as her safe spot. The looters came in and started checking every apartment in the building, but they didn't find much. Among them was a kid, who started shooting around randomly, and the sound terrified Asha. To calm herself down, her mind slipped back into old memories. She saw her little sister and the two of them together like before. After some time, when the looters finally left, Asha came out of hiding. Exhausted, she ended up falling asleep. That night, she had a terrifying nightmare. She saw her whole family drowning, and no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't save them. The next day, when Asha was about to go to bed, she suddenly heard noises in the building. She grabbed her flashlight and searched everywhere, but didn't find anyone. Still, she had a strong feeling something was wrong, that someone had secretly gotten inside. She washed her hands and left the soap behind before going back in. A little while later, a small girl showed up and picked up that same soap. Asha spotted her, but before she could catch the girl, the kid struck her, knocked her aside, and ran away to hide somewhere else in the building. The next morning, Asha went out looking for the girl. She found her in another room, asleep on an old couch. Asha didn't wake her up, just watched quietly, then went to cook her own food. But later, the girl sneaked into Asha's room and stole a lot of her supplies. She even found some old photos of Asha and her younger sister. While the girl was staring at those pictures, Asha walked in. She quickly snatched the photos back, but the girl managed to run off again. Asha had no idea what to do with her. For now, she just tried to put it out of her mind. The girl was still down in one of the flooded rooms on the lower floor, where the water was everywhere. Because Asha started feeling pity for the little girl, she cooked some noodles for her and took them downstairs. She kept thinking, who knows how long it had been since this child had eaten anything. But when she tried giving the noodles to her, the girl refused to take them. So Asha just left the bowl there and went back up to her own room. After she left, the girl ate every bit of the noodles. The next day, as a way of saying thank you, the girl returned all the supplies she had stolen from Asha. Since she didn't know how to eat noodles properly, she started copying the way Asha ate them. Watching her do that actually made Asha laugh. For the first time in years, there was a smile on her face. In fact, she hadn't spoken to anyone for such a long time that she still didn't really talk to the girl, but at night, she set up a bed for her right next to her own. That night, the little girl couldn't sleep. She started crying, saying she missed her mom and dad so much. Hearing that, Asha spoke to her for the first time. She said, "Don't worry, child. We'll find your parents." The girl then finally spoke back and told her that her name was Hai. The next morning, Asha and Hai went up to the rooftop together. While playing around, Hai accidentally pulled off the tape that was stuck on the lock of the door. The door instantly clicked shut and locked, which meant they were now trapped on the roof. Asha panicked because the lock was broken, and she had taped it on purpose to stop it from closing. The moment the tape came off, the door had sealed itself shut. Seeing Asha so upset, Hai grabbed a wire and actually managed to pick the lock open. Asha was surprised and happy, but at the same time, she explained to her, "Look, I've set everything up here in my own way, so before you touch anything, you have to ask me first. And remember, don't make any noise here, or the looters will come." That's when Hai told Asha, "We need to get out of here. We can't live here forever. It's too dangerous." But Asha immediately refused. Later, Asha noticed that the family necklace she always wore around her neck was suddenly missing. She became worried and thought maybe Hai had stolen it. When she asked Hai about it, Hai was hurt that Asha could even think of her as a thief. She got upset with Asha, packed up all her things, and without saying a word, moved into another room. The next morning, Asha noticed that Hai was wasting drinking water to wash clothes. On top of that, she had ruined a few more things as well. But since Hai was still angry with her, Asha didn't say anything. That night, while Asha was asleep, she had another nightmare. She dreamt of the tsunami again, how fast the water had rushed into her house, how terrified she was, running around trying to escape. The nightmare shook her so badly that she woke up screaming. Hai rushed to her and calmed her down, giving her comfort. That moment brought them back to talking again. Asha began explaining to Hai how they had to live in this place. First, she told her that water needed to be used very carefully, separate water for drinking, and separate water for washing clothes. She told her to stay away from electricity, and when using the radio, to always keep the volume low. If you play it loud, the looters will come, she warned. Then Hai asked her about one particular room that had been locked for a long time. Asha told her that the reason she kept it shut was because there was a horrible smell coming from inside. And you should never open it either. That's all Asha told her. But why the smell came from that room, she never explained. The next morning, Hai was listening to the radio. The broadcast said that the government was sending help for the survivors. They were moving people to safer cities where there was food, water, and everything they needed to start a new life. Excited, Hai ran to Asha and told her about it. She said they should also go to the place the government mentioned, but Asha flat out refused. Hearing that, Hai got upset. She told Asha, "You're a coward. You don't know how to face reality. How can you think you'll survive here forever?" But when Asha still refused, Hai decided she would go alone. She started tying plastic bottles together to make herself a raft. Asha tried to stop her. She said, "Listen, leaving this place is dangerous. The waters are full of sharks and other sea creatures. And the place you want to go? It's far away. By the time you reach there, your food and water could run out. We could even lose our way out there." But Hai pulled out a flare gun and said, "Look, we have this. I can protect myself with it." The sight of the flare gun made Asha nervous. She snatched it from Hai and said, "Don't you ever fire this by mistake. If the looters see it, they'll come here immediately." Since Asha had spoken so harshly, after a while she softened up. She apologized to Hai and explained more gently, "Look, I've tried many times before to leave this place, but I never succeeded." Saying this, she drifted into her past. She remembered the time she had decided to leave her home. Back then, her parents would always give whatever they brought home first to her younger sister. It made her furious, filled her with jealousy. Because of that, even her behavior with her parents wasn't good. Watching them favor her sister again and again had made her bitter and tired of everything. Because her parents always gave more importance to her younger sister, Asha constantly fought with them. One day, she finally decided to leave home, but just as she was leaving, her little sister tried to stop her. Back in the present, Asha saw her necklace lying broken on the floor. That's when she realized Hai had never stolen it. It wasn't her fault at all. Feeling ashamed, Asha apologized to her. The next day, it rained heavily, and they collected plenty of drinking water. But now even Asha felt this place wasn't safe anymore. It would be better to leave and go to the government's safe zone. So, she finally agreed with Hai and started helping her build the raft. In a flashback, we saw the day Asha left her home. Her sister was with her and chaos broke out all around. People were panicking, running everywhere. Asha was heartbroken that she couldn't save her sister. That guilt still haunted her in the present, but now she found some peace knowing she had Hai, like a second sister. The next morning, she even gave her necklace to Hai as a gift. A few days later, their little raft was ready. They were just about to leave when Hai accidentally turned the radio on. The sound drew looters into the building. They quickly hid their supplies. Asha shoved Hai behind a wooden wall and hid herself in that old, smelly room. The looters stormed in, tossing things around and grabbing whatever food they could find. Then they discovered Hai behind the false wall. They dragged her out, and she screamed. Asha heard her cries but froze with fear. She didn't know how to save her. The looters also smashed their raft. Then they headed toward the smelly room. At that moment, Asha's past flashed before her eyes. Her and her sister in danger, and how she couldn't save her back then. But now, she promised herself she wouldn't make the same mistake again. She stepped out, ready to fight. With the flare gun in her hand, she shot one of the looters who came at her. Then she grabbed Hai and together they ran to another building. There, they set a trap by turning the radio on. When 2 or 3 looters came inside, Asha attacked them, fought fiercely, and killed them all. The looter leader had high, though. He sent more men to hunt Asha down. That's when the truth about the smell came out. Inside that locked room were piles of dead bodies. Asha first used those corpses to terrify the looters, then stepped out herself and killed them, taking one of their knives. She finished off the rest of the men too, then headed straight for the leader who was waiting on a ship. Asha fought him in a brutal battle. In the struggle, all 3 of them, Asha, Hai, and the leader, fell into the water. Before the sharks could attack, Asha pulled Hai to safety. The leader, left alone in the water, was taken down by a shark. Asha and Hai climbed onto the looter's ship. This ship had everything: food, water, and supplies. That night, for the first time, Asha slept without nightmares. The next morning, they both woke up with smiles on their faces. Their destination was finally in sight. With hopeful eyes, they looked ahead. And with that moment, the film ended on a happy note. If you liked the video, share it with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe.